Are you an introvert or an extrovert? A thinker or a feeler? We love putting ourselves into neat little boxes. We take online quizzes that sort humanity into 16 rigid personality types, wearing 4-letter labels like badges of honor. But modern academic psychology has a harsh truth for you. You are not a box. Human nature cannot be categorized into black and white. It is a spectrum. Welcome back to Shadow Theory. Today, we are tearing up the pop psychology quizzes and looking at the gold standard of personality science, the Big Five, or the Ocean Model. Think of your mind not as a category, but as a complex soundboard with 5 sliders. Where these sliders are set determines your entire blueprint. But be warned, in psychology, every strength casts a long, dark shadow. Let's look at your sliders. The first slider is O for openness to experience. This measures how you process the unknown. If your slider is high, you are the explorer. You crave novelty, abstract ideas, and artistic beauty. You don't just see a tree. You see the poetry of nature. But what is the shadow of high openness? It is chaos. People extremely high in this trait often struggle to stay grounded in reality. They chase the next big idea, but never finish the tasks at hand. On the other end, if your slider is low, you are the traditionalist. You value structure, routine, and concrete facts. You are the reliable anchor in a chaotic world. But your shadow, dogmatism. You become so terrified of change that you build a prison of routine, trapping yourself in a comfort zone that slowly suffocates your growth. Next is C for conscientiousness. This is your ability to delay gratification and control your impulses. Psychologists agree that high conscientiousness is the #1 predictor of academic and occupational success. You are the architect. You make plans, you follow rules, and you execute. But what happens when you look into the shadow of a highly conscientious person? You find the curse of toxic perfectionism. If this slider is pushed too high, you lose the ability to rest. You become tyrannized by your own to-do lists. It borders on obsessive-compulsive tendencies, where the fear of failure constantly cracks the whip over your bleeding back. Conversely, those with low conscientiousness might live in disorganized chaos, but they are often highly adaptable. They can pivot when the rigid plans of the architect inevitably fall apart. Then comes E for extraversion, and it is time we kill a popular myth. Introversion is not shyness, and extraversion is not simply being friendly. Neuroscientists like Dr. Colin DeYoung suggest that extraversion is actually a measure of reward sensitivity, largely driven by dopamine. If you are an extrovert, your brain demands massive amounts of stimulation from the outside world to feel rewarded. You are a solar panel. You need the bright lights and the loud crowds to charge your battery. If you are an introvert, your nervous system is simply built more sensitively. A loud party doesn't charge you. It overloads your circuits. You are a battery that charges only when plugged into the quiet darkness of your own room. Neither is broken. They just run on different voltages. Our fourth slider is a 4 agreeableness. This is the spectrum of compassion versus antagonism. High agreeableness means you are empathetic, polite, and avoid conflict. You are the peacemaker. Society loves you because you are nice. But let's shine a light into the darkest shadow of the Big Five. Being too agreeable is a dangerous trap. Clinical psychologists often warn about the people pleaser. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you do not eliminate conflict. You just internalize it. You swallow your own boundaries. And what happens to swallowed boundaries? They rot, turning into a toxic sludge of hidden resentment. Sometimes, being nice is not a virtue. It is a cowardly defense mechanism against the fear of not being liked. On the other hand, disagreeable people might be tough to deal with, but they are the ones who demand a raise, challenge the corrupt system, and tell you the harsh truth. Finally, we reach N for neuroticism, the tendency to experience negative emotions like anxiety, anger, and sadness. You might ask, why would evolution leave us with a trait that causes so much suffering? Because neuroticism is your soul's smoke detector. Thousands of years ago, the happy, carefree optimists walked into the tall grass and got eaten by lions. The highly neurotic people, the ones constantly terrified, imagining the worst-case scenarios, they survived. They survived to pass their anxious genes down to you. High neuroticism carries the heavy burden of depression and anxiety, but it is also the birthplace of profound empathy and heartbreaking art. You feel the pain of the world deeper than anyone else. Openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. This is your biological blueprint. You cannot simply erase your shadow, but by understanding where your sliders are set, you can finally stop fighting your own nature. However, your personality is only the hardware. What about the software of how you love? Why do you constantly push your partners away or cling to them out of terror? The answer doesn't lie in your DNA. It lies in your childhood bedroom. Join us in the next episode as we unpack the devastating truths of attachment theory. Subscribe and never look away from the shadow.